beast mode, a term that's been used since the beast era. It's been used to describe when the alt mode of a transformer is the form of an animal, and it's since been eradicated from the Transformers lore thanks in part to Marshawn Lynch trademarking the term, because the good old people at Hasbro are too stupid to realize when they're sitting on a gold mine. But that's besides the point. We're here to talk about Beastformers, people. Now, before we delve into the topic at hand, I gotta give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. Yeah, I know you're saying to yourself, you can't go on one video without seeing an ad for this game. Instead of getting Rick rolled, you're getting Raid rolled. But this game is just that good. I mean, what other mobile game you know makes you feel like the most powerful being in the world? Don't waste your time answering that question because you're looking at it. Raid Shadow Legends is the world's biggest, best, and most badass mobile game. It also features 13 playable factions, which includes the High Elves. These guys are the oldest race in the Tellurian League, and if you notice, they're pretty easy on the eyes. They live in their walled kingdom of Aravia and serve under their queen, who's a pretty powerful sorceress, and they've been fighting evil since before that was cool. The problem is, it's not always clear whose side they're on, and to find out more, you'll have to meet them in the story campaign. But just take a look at how cool these guys look. Pretty dope, right? Something else that's dope is the multiple things you can do outside the campaign, like putting your warrior through sparring and pitting them up against other players through PvP arena battles, and summoning new champions at the portal and leveling them up at the tavern. But if you're not moved by those things, fret not. Raid just released their biggest update, the Doom Tower. It's a giant tower with 120 floors, a bunch of secret challenge rooms, and 12 seriously badass bosses to take on. It's been extremely challenging, but I've been having a blast figuring out how to beat it. The best part about all of this is, the game is absolutely free. So what are you waiting for? Go to the description on this video, click on the special link, and get your free Spirit Champion, 50,000 silver, 50 gems, 5 Mastery Shards, 1 day XP boost, and 1 energy refill and 1 clan boss key as soon as you get in the game. Just look at this cool champion you get for free. You can find all your extra rewards here in your inbox for the next 30 days only, so you better jump on it while it lasts. You can find me under the name RandomBlackGamer88, and if you're quick enough, you can even join my clan. So come and find me. Good luck, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Number 10. Steeljaw. Now, this is a beast that had its whole allegiance and functions completely switched around. Steeljaw was originally an Autobot who could transform from a cassette tape into some weird looking tiger wolf thingy. Funny enough, he was going to be an Autobot again in Transformers Dark of the Moon, serving as Leadfoot's pet wrecker dog, but in Age of Extinction, he's neither an Autobot nor a Decepticon. He's now a wolf-like creature used by Lockdown to hunt down enemy intruders who board the ship, and there's apparently a species full of them. After Lockdown moved his ship over to Chicago to deliver the seed to Cemetery Wind, he locked Optimus Prime up with the other knights that he had captured. Unbeknownst to Lockdown, the other Autobots and humans had already boarded his ship in order to free Prime and Tessa. When Crosshairs fired the ship's anchors in order to prevent it from taking off, the bounty hunter merely assumed that one of their prisoners had escaped and dispatched a pack of Steeljaws to deal with them. And these guys were really vicious. Cade picked them off while Shane and Tessa crossed the ship's anchor wires. When some of the Steeljaws attempted to terminate the humans, the others chewed through the wires and eventually broke them. However, all of their chewing went to waste as the trio was rescued by Bumblebee. Number 9. Scorponok. His main drives are to hunt, destroy, and hunt some more, and nobody knows if he's truly barely a sentient being or if he's actually a cunning opponent, leaving many, even the Decepticons, to underestimate him. Scorponok makes his first move in the 2007 movie during Blackout's attack on the US Socket Forward Operations Base in Qatar. Out of nowhere, Blackout ejects Scorponok from his back and the little critter burrows underground, only to be seen attacking the surviving troops the next day. Since he can tunnel underground with frightening speed, he's incredibly good at ambushing, which is seen when he snatches this poor guy and violates him. After he drove the soldiers into a nearby village, he showed off his firepower by releasing a barrage of missiles which destroyed the ruins that the village had grown around. Unfortunately, his reign of terror would be cut short after Lennox ordered an airstrike. You would think the little bastard died considering the fact that the only thing the soldiers found was a piece of his tail, but due to the riders and plot convenience, he was back in full effect in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. During the battle in Egypt between the Autobots and the Decepticons, Scorponok used his chameleon mesh armor plating to blend in perfectly with the sand. And when the timing was right, he struck when the decrepit turncoat Jetfire wasn't looking, catching the ancient seeker off guard and severely wounding him. Sadly, the metallic arachnid didn't have enough time to celebrate this stealthy attack, since Jetfire crushed his head as he collapsed.
Too old for this crap.
Swooping in at number 8, we have Strafe. Just go ahead and admit it, you knew we'd eventually talk about the Dinobots, and who better to kick off the Lightning Strike Coalition than with our dual-headed Pteranodon. This flying Dinobot strikes fear into his enemies when he swoops down on them from above. With a sword in each hand, he'll be a match for any enemy in robot mode. And when he converts to vicious Pteranodon mode, no enemy can hope to outrun him. At least that's what it says on the back of his toy box. Unfortunately, we don't really see this guy do anything outside of his beast mode. During the battle in Hong Kong, Strafe aided Bumblebee as he battled Stinger. The two fought on Strafe's back until Stinger was defeated and Strafe got to munch on Stinger's head. He then aided in escorting the Seed to safety until Lockdown returned and unleashed his magnetic vortex upon the group. Though he briefly freed Slug from the vortex, the Dinobots were trapped in it again until Optimus destroyed it. Strafe also helped hold down the line on a bridge until the Seed was transported to safety and Lockdown was defeated. Coming in at number 7 is Slug. This fiery warrior hates taking orders unless it means he gets to destroy something. He'll level anything in his path with a fit of white-hot dino rage, as seen when he rams his face into an orbital assault carrier. Like, this guy is one of the more fearsome Dinobots, and that's probably why he was one of the ones that managed to make it over into Transformers the last night. To get in a good surprise attack, the Decepticons moved out to the Autobots' hideout in South Dakota. Once the Decepticons moved in to attack the junkyard, the TRF prepared to move in as well. However, Grimlock and Slug suddenly appeared bursting from the ground to attack the convoy of TRF vehicles. Number 6. Scorn. Given his status as a Spinosaurus, Scorn was by far the largest Dinobot appearing in the film. The guy was so massive it made him hard to take down. Just look at how he towers over the other Dinobots with his cool looking arm tail thingy. I really wish we could have seen this giant behemoth in action in all his robot mode glory, but we mainly see him in his beast mode. In some of the early concept drawings, Scorn was planning to use his spikes as small projectiles, but don't get it twisted, he still manages to use them in a creative way, like in this one scene where he uses his massive size on a few Decepticon drones. He later accompanied the group to try to escort the Seed to safety, but Lockdown returned and turned his tractor beam on them. Scorn would have been recaptured by the bounty hunter had Optimus not destroyed the tractor beam. He then helped defend the Seed on a bridge with the other Autobots and Dinobots until Optimus was able to defeat Lockdown. The battle over, Optimus gave the Dinobots their freedom and Scorn parted with Crosshairs on good terms, who even gave him a new nickname, Spike. Clawing his way into the top 5, we have Ravage. I'm not gonna lie to you, Ravage was one of those Decepticons I thought we'd see for many years to come. He just has everything under the kitchen sink when it comes to his weaponry. Like his G1 counterpart, he's a freaking partner of Soundwave and takes on missions that require a little stealth as well as chaos. Instead of being ejected a couple feet away from his targets, he can be orbitally inserted at 15 times the speed of sound. The little mofo comes equipped with this weird throat dispenser that releases these tiny little beads called microns that combine to form a razor-thin transformer called Reedman. He also has a dual blaster mounted on his back which he uses to take out human soldiers. The guy just seemed like he couldn't be stopped. That's until a little later where he decided to pounce on someone twice his size. During the battle in Egypt, Starscream ordered Rampage to use Sam's parents as bait to lure him out. Bumblebee managed to get the jump on Rampage, and Ravage in turn jumped on Bumblebee's head, clawing off part of his helmet. Unfortunately for Ravage, Beast still had plenty of fight left in him, and he promptly dispatched the Killer Kitty, tearing out his tail from his anus. Terrorizing the number 4 spot is Laserbeak. Probably Soundwave's most vicious and cunning pet, Laserbeak is in a class of his own. He was literally re-engineered to serve the Decepticons primarily as a scout and spy for Soundwave, but that doesn't mean he isn't capable of other tasks such as hunting down targets for capture, be they human or Autobot. Despite his small stature, Laserbeak can be very competent and a very skilled assassin as seen when he takes out everyone on the Decepticon hit list one by one. Something that I don't see a lot of TF fans pointing out is that Laserbeak could possibly be a triple changer, because he takes on various alt modes in the movie such as a printer, TV, and a human-sized pink Bumblebee. Unlike his other mechananimal buddies, he has the ability to speak, which is crazy because he's literally the only character on this list who can do so. Not even Grimlock can do this. I'm just saying. Anyways, Laserbeak participated in the big battle of Chicago and waited for Sentinel to activate his space bridge pillars in Dylan's penthouse. When Sam arrived to rescue Carly, Laserbeak transformed out of his CD player mode and grabbed Sam with his talons and threw him out of the window. But Sam was saved by Bumblebee and his newly acquired Decepticon fighter. Laserbeak tried knocking a military drone into a fighter to jam its engines and struggled with Sam on top of the fighter. Sam managed to hold Laserbeak's head in front of one of the fighter's guns and had Bumblebee fire, decapitating and killing Laserbeak. Number 3. Grimlock. What's understood doesn't even have to be explained, people. Grimlock is always going to be in the upper echelon of powerful warriors. Whether it be the giants, warriors, or beasts, he demands to be noticed. He also demands that you prove yourself worthy if you want to utilize him in battle. For years, Grimlock spent time as a captive on Lockdown's ship until Optimus came to his rescue. He explained to Grimlock that the creators intended to wipe them all out and urged them to stand with him or refuse and die. But the Dinobot King wasn't trying to hear it. Before Optimus could get out another word, the giant challenged him in a test of strength. He swung at Robo-Jesus with his giant mace, but despite his immense size and strength, was bested in combat, so he submitted to Optimus's lead. Grimlock and Optimus led the charge into Hong Kong, where Grimlock killed many Decepticons with ease using his teeth and fire breath. A few years later, he would move over to the States and serve as a pet under Cade Yeager and the Autobots' watch in a scrapyard. The secret base of operations was invaded by the Decepticons and TRF, but thankfully Grimlock was able to hold them off until the other Autobots escaped. He first dispatched some of the Decepticons, and later he popped out of a hole, completely wrecking the TRF troops. Taking the second spot is Dragonstorm. Okay, so this was a close one. Like, I was originally going to include this guy in number 1, but due to the very limited amount of screen time he had in TF the last night, I had to put him in at number 2. Nonetheless, Dragonstorm is worthy of making it into the top 3 of the Beastformers. Way before the Great War and any other plot contrivances Michael Bay conjured up, there were 12 Guardian Knights who served under a powerful sorceress named Quintessa. She professed to be the creator and goddess of Cybertron, but the Knights felt something funky with her story and ultimately saw through her claims. They came to understand that she wasn't as benevolent as she appeared and stole her powerful staff and hid on Earth. They'd make contact with a drunk called Merlin, who promised to keep their existence a secret. However, in 484, Merlin beseeched them to help his people against the imminent threat of destruction by invading Saxons. Judging that Camelot was proof of the worthiness of humankind, the Knights decided to render assistance to Merlin. The red armored leader of the Knights granted the staff of Quintessa to Merlin and combined it to Dragonstorm. As a mighty gestalt dragon, the Knights easily wrought devastation against the enemies of Camelot, and afterwards the Knights, both human and Cybertronians, celebrated and forged a pact. The ferocious Dragonstorm was the humans' ultimate ace in the hole. I mean, the Guardian Knights were already powerful individually, but when they combine into this guy, it's damn near unstoppable. It's one of the hugest beasts on this list, and its fire breath makes Grimlock's look like a little cigarette lighter. What more do you want me to say about this guy? He's truly the bootleg King Ghidorah of Transformers. Number 1. The Driller. At some point before or during the war, Shockwave captured and tamed the Driller, which isn't the easiest thing to do, because these enormous multi-tentacle beasts are capable of great destruction and carnage on any scale. But beyond that tyrannical exterior, they are somewhat sentient and can obey your commands if they're simple or just involve killing. They also develop intense loyalty to their masters. Naturally, all these qualities have endeared them to Shockwave, who keeps one as a pet and personal transport. Oh, and did I mention that this thing is by far one of the largest Transformers in the entire filmverse, alongside Devastator and the Dinobots? According to the special effects team, the Driller is the length of 3 football fields, making it roughly around 10,080 feet long. I mean, its working concept name was even called the Colossus, which says a lot. But anyways, the Driller won the number 1 spot because it stole the show in Transformers Dark of the Moon. Like, the amount of destruction this thing caused has yet to be topped. During the Decepticon invasion in Chicago, the Driller crawled its way in and through a toppling skyscraper by Shockwave's command to flush out Sam Witwicky and his allies, and caused the building to snap in half. It seemed like its reign of destruction would escalate to catastrophic proportions, but Optimus, with his jetpack and upgraded weapons from his trailer, attacked it in midair. The Driller's reach with his tentacles was hindered by the building as it attempted to fight back, and Optimus countered attack by slamming his entire body through its neck, killing it. But with that, I'm going to end this video. I hope you guys liked this one because it took a lot of research and analyzing to rank each entry. If you made it to the end of the video, you can let me know by following your comment up with hashtag beast mode. As always, I ask you like the video. It doesn't have to be a thumbs up, it can be a thumbs down. Any feedback is good feedback and will only help me improve on future videos. But if you really enjoyed the video, it would help me out tremendously if you shared it with all your friends and followers on social media. Sharing really makes a difference. But once again, this is your boy RBG signing out on another video. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.